appointment of a chief judge of the state. Let's hear from this group.
Honorable Justice Joy Akpogunum, a woman from Abua Odual, is naturally the rightful candidate next in line for the appointment as the Chief Judge of Rivers State. Being a senior to the Honorable Justice S.C. Amadi, unfortunately, the governor, who himself is a lawyer and a life bencher, has either misled the NGC by nominating and transmitting the name of his kinsman from MO1 as the Chief Judge of Rivers State. The NDGGG wishes to remind Governor Wike that one of the loopholes he used to have a smooth ride into the brick house in 2014-2015 was making the issue of the appointment of a chief judge in Rivers State a major political campaign point. Today, Governor Wike and the NJC have overlooked one who is the most senior judge and has decided to appoint a junior.
Now, this group called on the NJC to reverse itself and do the right thing, because it's important.
We condemn this political manipulation by Governor Wike and the subsequent nod by the National Judicial Council, and call on the NJC to reverse itself and do the right thing in keeping with the sanctity of the bench and the judiciary. This position of the NDDGG is without any prejudice to the Honorable Justice S.C. Amadi, who has a sound history at the bench. However, we recommend that the 1999 Constitution as amended should be further amended to fully allow the judiciary to function independently on all fours, by disabling president stroke governor from having any hand in the appointment of a judge, chief judges of states, and the chief justice of the federation.
All right, so that's the position of this group. Now, while the group was, saying what they said, the River State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Zacchaeus Adango, says no. Neither the National Judicial Council nor the governor of a state is compelled to recommend or appoint the most senior judge of the High Court as substantive chief judge of a state. He said it's not a question of seniority. We cannot do this. He said it is wrong for the concerned lawyers to rely on what they termed judicial tradition to demand that the NJC should have recommended Justice Joy. So no. It's just what we always do, but it's not what's in the code. Also, a lawyer heard what was going on and said, well, I have to lend my voice to this cause. Chidi Lloyd says the appointment of a substantive chief judge for a state is based on recommendation by the Judicial Service Commission of the state and not based on seniority. Dr. Lloyd explained that in 2014, Justice Daisy Okocha was recommended by the NJC because her name was forwarded to it.
In this instant case, the Judicial Service Commission of Rivers State recommended Justice S.C. Amadi. Also note that for the appointment of Chief Judge, the JSC will recommend. However, the issue of seniority does not count in the appointment of a substantive Chief Judge. Recall the case of Justice T.O. Elias, who was appointed straight from the University of Lagos, where he was senior lecturer and dean of law. He was appointed from there straight to become the chief judge of Nigeria. So the scenario of 2014 and now are not the same. The scenario of 2014 is that Justice Daisy Okocha was recommended. Arumagu wasn't recommended by the NJC. So they should not mix the facts.
All right. And while they were doing what they were doing, Governor Wike himself said, I don't understand all this. I did not recommend Justice Simeon Amadi to the NJC for appointment as Chief Judge of the state. Governor Wike said this when members of Paul Club of Nigeria, an association of Ikwere lawyers, paid him a courtesy call at the government house in Port Harcourt. He said he has submitted the name to the River State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation as recommended by the River State Judicial Service Commission. You should stop lying on my head, please.
I never wrote letter to NJC. I am not a member of the Judicial Service Commission. You need to know the facts before you begin to talk. Nobody can intimidate me by any kind of sentiment. No. I will do what is right. We knew the crisis that happened here in this state. The Constitution is very clear. It's only the most senior that will be an acting chief. And that was the crisis. In this case, they are doing like acting chief judge. I don't want to have acting chief judge. I want to do my own thing on time. And we did it on time. And just in their wisdom, submitted two people's names, and NJC recommended one. And you're not playing politics that is the governor.
So the governor said, my hands are clean, please. I don't come and call me in this kind of matter. Well, while all of that was happening, the River State House of Assembly screened and confirmed Justice Simeon Amadi as Chief Judge of the state. Justice Amadi, who appeared before the House, was asked to take a bow after giving a brief introduction of himself. Leader of the House, Martin Amehule, in his submission said members of the House have unanimously agreed that Justice Amadi be confirmed based on his contribution to the state judiciary. So it very likely played out like honorable members. Let's not waste each other's time. We know that Amadi is a man of timber and caliber. He has what it takes, his wealth of experience, his years, his service. Why are we wasting time? Why this will arguing who recommended, who did not recommend? Let us confirm this man. Speaker of the House, Ikunyi Owaji Bani, in his resolution said he believes Justice Amadi will bring his wealth of experience to bear in the administration of justice in River State.
Commend your effort in joining others to build the state and to ensure the judiciary as the last hope of the common man is still seen to be that point. We have as approved and confirmed the nomination of Honorable Justice Simeon Amadi as the Chief Judge of River State.
All right, so that's the story. So how did anybody think political interest, ethnicity, is my brother, is not my brother, played a part in this? Well, I have no idea. But another part of the story unfolds as Tubotamuno Dick, legal practitioner and Amayanabo of Oprama community in Asari, Toru, LGA, joins me for this part of the story. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning, Oracle, and good morning, Rivers people.
How you doing?
Oh, bless God. Oh,
Okay,
fine.
I'm happy to hear that. So your part of the story is telling me what you make of the drama attached to the confirmation of Justice Simeon Amadi. What do you make of all of this?
Well, I think it's just people trying to play to the gallery and grandstand or make themselves relevant or head, maybe for whatever purpose. If not, the issues are very clear, very, very clear. Why I came to the studio as a king, as an Amayanabo of Oprama, I've toned down on this sort of interview, but I've just been I have to be compelled to come because in 2013, I originated the suit. When on the 20th of August 2013, the then Governor Rotimi Amechi purported to appoint Justice Agumago, who was then the president of the Customary Court of Appeal. Justice Agumago was actually ahead of Denzel Okocha, I think. But at one point in time, River State established the Customary Court of Appeal, which is of coordinate jurisdiction with the High Court, and then appointed Justice Agumago as the president of the Customary Court of Appeal.
Okay.
So subsequently, the tenure of Justice Ishendo, the Chief Judge, then expired. And the governor then, Rotimi Amechi, purported to appoint Justice Agumago of the president of the Customary Court of Appeal as the acting chief judge. And I said no. I was called to bar 2012 November. So I was barely 1 year at the bar.
You're still fresh.
Yes, but all the lawyers kept quiet, and Justice Agumago, as a matter of fact, as I zoomed office and started acting, I said no. I had to. Then I was a legal advisor to Kengama Unity Forum, and the NDDGG that he just mentioned is an offshoot of the Kengama Unity Forum. That's why when I heard them, I laughed. You know, they were careful. They wouldn't use the Kengama Unity Forum. They used the NDDGG this time, and I laughed because that Governor Wike has done what went to court. You see, this is the suit. I have the judgment here. This is the judgment delivered on. Okay, the signed copy is bearing 7th of 1914. Understand? So it is, the suit is Bomaguded, Ajenate Samuel, Incorporated Trustees of Kengama Unity Forum as plaintiffs, and the Honorable Attorney General of River State, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation as defendants. This is the suit and this is the judgment. So went to court, articulated our issues, and the court elders heard both parties and came to town that the president of the Customary Court of Appeal is not a judge of the High Court. So he cannot be the acting chief judge. And therefore, Denzel Okocha, who was as a then the oldest member of the judiciary, should be appointed the acting chief judge.
Okay.
In fact, there were so many issues. Rivers people are aware of the issues. And then just a legal practitioner like me that was less than a year at the bar the civil director of civil litigation came, the attorney general then, because like Wogu Bombs came, but he was careful not to represent any party. And every day they'll bring one SN to file joinder for State Judicial Council. The next court day they'll bring another SN to file joinder House of Assembly, and all this was just against a lawyer that was barely 1 year. But I know the senior lawyers, and then nobody spoke any talked about it. And that's how somewhere along the line the NJC brought another son to represent them. The attorney general brought in the attorney general of the federation brought in the late Aguma, who became an SN and attorney general before he died, to represent the attorney general of the federation. And in fact, at the stage of judgment, there was nothing the SANs on the other side did not do to arrest judgment. I don't know if you know what that means. That is, don't give the judgment. But judgment was given, and this is the judgment. That is to say, as at that time, Honorable Justice Peter Gumagu was the president of the Customary Court of Appeal, set up under Section 280 of the Constitution. You understand? And so he is not a judge of the High Court and cannot be appointed an acting chief judge. So he was not the most senior member of the judiciary. And the issues were very clear that Days Okocha was the most Now, immediately after the judgment, the then governor now purported to now appoint Dagumago as a substantive chief judge. He went to court again. That he cannot appoint him the substantive chief judge without the recommendation of NJC. The recommendation of NJC just by himself. And that one started. I think later, somewhere along the line, it was still these parties, Bomagude, Nigeria Samuel, Incorporated Trustees of Kengama Unity Forum, and these same parties. Of course, by then, LJC, that is the State Judicial Council, have joined, the River State Assembly have joined, and they were just bringing parties just to prolong the case and all the rest. And then, I think subsequently, another suit by the current PDP candidate for Obiakbon, George T. Ariolo, on this same subject matter. And by that time, the court, River State Judiciary, has been closed down. So it was just the Federal High Court. And when we brought up these suits, every day it was just these two suits, Bomagude, Ajenate Samuel, and KUF versus the state government, and George T. Ariolo versus the state government. So for George T. Ariolo, Okala appeared while I was appearing for Kengmayiso. So when we go to court, the Federal High Court that day, the court of Ngajiwa Kotre, it is only these two cases from morning to night because of the number of SNs. And the state judiciary was shut down. So every day is just people coming to that, because that was just the only means to legally determine this matter and open court, because lawyers, we are not going to war. But what shocked me was none of the lawyers spoke. They were MBA and all the rest. Anyway, I came to do a legal practice according to my own conviction, and I felt this was my case, and we were going on. So it was just me and George Ariolo then, the late Attorney General. We were just battling this matter. So the issues are distinct. In fact, Governor Wike has done what we went to court to quarrel the then governor to do. That, look, if you want to appoint the an acting chief judge, because you were not proactive to know that the tenure of Ishendu will expire, therefore you must now kickstart the process of LJC recommending 3 judges as required by Section 270 to the NJC doing their bit, and then returning one recommended, and then the state governor it goes to the House of Assembly for confirmation and screening, and then the state governor, more formality like appointing. So that's what we quarreled the then governor. And Governor Wike, being a lawyer, a life bencher, and one who knows the Constitution, I've just done everything in accordance with law. So after getting the note of the NDDC, NGG, even the concern, of course, why should concerned lawyers be even talking on radio? And they have their stamp and seal. If you feel that the governor has done anything untoward by the Constitution, because this Constitution, at Section 1, Sub 1, defines that anything that is inconsistent with this Constitution is null and void. You understand?
Amayanabo,
yes.
If at that time the argument was for the most senior judge,
Yes.
and it's not applicable at this time, does that not sound conflicting?
No, you're not getting the issues. See, lawyers go to court with issues. You understand? You don't just go to the court to prosecute a matter for the fun of prosecution. What are the issues? As at that time, I'm telling you that the president of the customary court of appeal, a different court under a different section of the constitution, was brought to be made acting chief
the
judge.
chief judge is supposed to be of the high court.
Yes.
I understand that.
Okay, yes.
But the case at the time was about the most senior judge. That was the conversation at the time.
Yes.
At this time, it's not the same conversation, because we're hearing and seeing that, the idea of choosing the most senior is a judicial tradition. It's not printed.
No, okay, I get your drift.
Yeah.
See, that is a no issue. The acting chief judge, the tenure of the current chief judge has not elapsed. It's going to elapse by May.
Yeah, it may.
You understand? So this is a government that is being proactive to activate the relevant section of the constitution. It is okay. Can the Honorable Justice Akpogunu be the most senior judge while the chief judge is still in service? No, she's not. She is not. Honorable Joy Akpogunu is not the most senior judge of the judiciary now. It is within the pendency of the tenure of the current chief judge, which will allow by me that the State Judicial Council have kickstarted the process. Send 3 names. Look, I won't be shocked. I don't have the information, but I won't be shocked that even the name of the said Joy Akpogunu would have been added or forwarded. But I'm telling you that by NJC standard, they will still remove her name. They will not recommend her. You know why?
Why?
Because because you must give detailed information as to our date she entered service and the date she will leave service. And maybe they would have discovered that she will leave service in less than a year or thereabout. These processes of nominating from SJC to NJC, then back from NJC is an embodiment of members from all over the federation. Their meetings, normal with normal democratic bureaucracy, it's very expensive and it's not frequent. You understand? So now instead of you to recommend, you go through the assembly, everything. If you put monetary values to this, it's the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
They will not even recommend Joy Akpogunu.
But you can't tell.
I said by their standard, because they would know that she will retire in this. At any rate, it goes to no issue, because when they send, the law is very clear. A legal practitioner of 10 years standing. So if I am 10 years and my name is put there, and the NJC, my name is forwarded by the State Judicial Service Commission to the NJC, and the NJC looks at it, looks at I'm a lawyer, but I've not even been in active practice. I've not even been a judge, but my activism in this sort of cases I've done, and they send my name back. I become the chief judge once I'm sworn in, screened and sworn in.
So if that's always been the case, where did the seniority thing come from, and why has it been sustained for this long?
Acting, that is under section 271. That is to say, when the tenure of the incumbent elapsed, or in the case of any other circumstances that is not foreseen.
The space before substantive.
Yes.
Yeah, that must.
So the most senior judge will take over. But in Governor Wike's case, he's not allowing for that lacuna, that direct not to happen.
He doesn't want to waste time.
And that is the actual constitution. In fact, the acting is like, in case we are play, because we are humans, you understand? In case we will ever come into that kind of unforeseen circumstance, this is the person who has, so that there won't be controversy. The most senior person, assuming, let me take the worst case scenario, assuming the sitting chief judge dies, which has happened in certain states. The law, the constitution is very clear. Section 271 of the constitution comes into play, whereby the most senior acting judge comes in. If not the normal tradition, in fact, the acting is an abnormal situation.
Okay.
The acting chief judge is an abnormal situation. The normal situation is that before the tenure of the incumbent elapsed, names would have been sent and should have gone through the entire constitutional org and be back. You understand?
All right.
Particular name, 3 names sent, or a number of names sent, and 1 name should be back for screening, and then the governor makes the swearing in and appointment.
All right, so let's get something clear because we would like to understand the process. The
Yes.
Service Commission recommends to the NJC.
The State Justice Commission
Yeah.
recommends to
To
the
the NJC.
National Judicial Service Commission.
Yeah. And what do they do from that moment?
Then the NJC is chaired by the Chief Justice of the Federation, another person.
Yeah.
They now begin to look at the dossier sent to them of this person, the cases they've handled, their demeanor,
Their profile, basically.
You understand?
Yeah.
What kind of judge? Like if in America they want to know whether the man is liberal or is a conservative, you know,
Yeah.
those sort of things. So when they come, they now look at it and say, "Look, this recommend this person among the lot," and
Okay.
then send back to the state,
All right.
the agency, that this person has been recommended. So that is when the process now of assembly, and then the governor. But the governor is not going to swear in J.C. Amadi now until the tenure of the incumbent expires. Then he will now do the needful, and we will have a chief judge who would have been appointed in strict accordance with the constitution. And no lawyers, in fact, I can forgive the non-lawyers that are talking, but concerned lawyers, what is concerned lawyer? Go to court. No lawyer is concerned lawyer. If you understand what I'm saying.
Let's
I
hold on
went
there.
to I went to court when I was barely 1 year at the bar because I felt that this is a constitutional breach, and I got judgment. This judgment stands forever to my name.
I'm thinking of all the things that can go wrong or go differently. Let me use that word, not wrong.
Yes,
If the NJC recommends to the state government, is the state government compelled to comply with that recommendation?
of course. If the NJC returns the name, the state government it will be an uphill task for the state government not to do. But we are doing constitutional democracy, and it entails partisan politics.
Yeah.
Assuming a name is sent from the agency to the NJC,
And the state governor
agency
does not just like that name.
It returns a person that assuming the state governor does not like.
Yeah.
Then the state governor has constitutional loopholes. That is where you will see how well advised he is legally. You understand? There's constitutional loopholes. If the assembly goes on recess and the assembly does not screen you, the process is somewhat truncated. You understand? And if the governor, after you go through all the organ, the governor is so busy and he doesn't swear you in. I don't want to anticipate, but
I'm thinking of all the things that can happen
Yes,
if
yes,
he
but
does
that
not
is-
want to. What are the options available for the governor?
if the governor does not want to,
Yeah, if he literally doesn't want to.
I don't want to encourage that because I'm looking at the constitution and I don't want to be.
No. Again, we're discussing
yes,
all the possibilities.
yes.
What does the Constitution provide if the governor really does not like the name that he gets? He or she?
I think that, you understand, equity seals has done that which ought to be done. Therefore, if a name has gone to NJC through SJC, the State Judicial Service Commission,
Yeah.
they are the originators of the names because they know the persons from River State or within River State.
Okay.
They now send to NJC. Who doesn't know these three people? They will know them through their works.
Yeah.
And then they recommend a particular name. And then when it comes, for your scenario now,
Yeah.
the governor of the state does not like the particular person. And then the governor is a politician, maybe he will play politics. But I don't want to go into the mind of somebody who will disobey the law, a governor that will disobey the law. Thus far, I am here to emphatically tell you that Governor Wike is in accordance with the constitution. And that is why even concerned lawyer can go to radio to talk without going to court.
I understand
Yes.
that at the point when the NJC has forwarded a name, it's literally almost done and dusted. But because we don't want to entertain that thought, it doesn't mean someone is not going to think it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
So, if a governor,
Yes.
just because what the concerned lawyers are saying, and the NDDG, GG, I don't know how many G's and D's are there,
Yes.
is that, oh, the governor favors this person. They are implying that there's political interest
Yes.
in the confirmation.
Yes.
So, if it happens that the governor does not like the name he gets, does the
Yes.
constitution provide any way out, or must he actually forward that name to the state assembly?
Well, from what you just said, is it can be a matter for an epic constitutional legal battle if it happens. You understand? But the sentiments they are whipping up does not even arise as in the government, because the J.C. Amadi is from the J.C. Amadi is a very senior member of the judiciary. You understand? And his name goes. You understand? I told you here that even a lawyer of 10 years who has
10
just
years.
been in the house.
Yeah.
You understand? If his name can be sent by agency, so be it. If it returns. So the situation they are saying as in you ought to have allowed the most senior judge to. It does not even a reason. Will she be acting over the substantive that is still on the seat? You know, so those are the issues. They are very clear issues.
Yeah, they are clear.
Very clear issues.
How
So
long?
you are coming from. What if this kind of thing happens?
The possibilities, of course.
I want to, as a lawyer, we deal on precedents. I want to see a particular state where the governor is going to do that, because then we'll now look at the legal issues arising, and then of course, the courts are there to test legal issues. But I don't want to anticipate it, because His Excellency the governor, you know, governance is part time. I mean, she was there, did his own, and I've done everything to be in tune, in sync with the constitution. So I don't even want to bother myself with that kind of scenario, because as a lawyer and as a realist in the legal profession, I don't think that that governor is what's being the governor of someone like me, because I was challenging him in court.
All right. How long is the tenure of a chief judge?
I think it depends on their service year and age, whichever comes first, I think, because Justice Chendu served for a very long time.
Okay.
It depends on when you entry. You understand? Like, for example, now, if the Honorable Justice Akpognom, as in His Excellency, just sleep on the house, you know, and the Honorable Justice Akpognom becomes, upon the retirement of the present chief judge, becomes the acting chief judge, she has an exit date when she will stop being a member of the judiciary, and so ends her tenure. So things, it depends on when they started.
Case specific.
And their agent.
All right, after the break, we talk some more about the judiciary, of course, and the appointment and confirmation, rather, not the appointment, confirmation of Justice Simeon Amadi as Chief Judge of River State. Don't go anywhere.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers.
We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the all for you on 93 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria.
There's nothing like acting chief judge. I don't want to have acting chief judge. I want to do my own thing on time. And we did it on time. And just in their wisdom, submitted two people's names, and NJS recommended one. And you're not playing politics that is the governor.
Commend your effort in joining others to build the state and to ensure the judiciary as the last hope of the common man is still seen to be that point. You have as approved and confirmed the nomination of Honorable Justice Simeon Amadi as the Chief Judge of River State.
This is the Morning Crossfire on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, indeed, it is the Morning Crossfire. Welcome back. We're talking about the appointment of Chief Judge in River State. My guest, Tubotamuno, legal practitioner, and the Amayanabo of Prama community in Asari Goku government area is still here. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you.
Now we're taking questions from the listener, and there's an interesting one here. It's highly unlikely, but it's a question nonetheless. Now the River State House of Assembly has screened and cleared Justice Amadi. Can the NJC reverse it? Williams from Future Community is asking.
No, NJC is done with their job. NJC is not just one person. Of course, even if it's a judicial decision by just one of them, it is only appeal that can reverse, or an higher court that can reverse the decision of a lower court. NJC is an embodiment of all the leadership of the judiciary in the nation.
All
so
right.
once they're done with their act and they come out with a verdict, I think if you're not, they can't reverse themselves anyway.
Okay. All right, 0817923 0002, 0817923 0003, 0817923 0007. Of course, the female caller line is 0817923 0009. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. Please turn off your radio as you call us. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Shirako.
Good morning.
Good morning to the Amayanabo.
Good morning.
Yes, gift calling from Yenebo.
Go ahead.
You remember I told you something. I said, forget about this sentiment. My happiness, thank God for the Amayanabo to come on air to clear this whole, that is storm on a teacup. It is non-issue. I'm telling you because I understand where they are coming from. If your principal decided to toe the wrong path and do the wrong thing, don't tie it to the next person. Governor Wike is not that type of leader. He knows what he's doing. He's a life bencher. His wife, too, is a justice. Imagine, this man is telling you, forget about what you're saying. The same thing with the Amayanabo. Go to court and challenge. Somebody that just came out from the bar, just barely one way, went ahead to challenge the sitting governor and got a judgment. And we are here shouting Wike this, Wike that. This man locked down the courts in River State because of his interest. And you are telling me of something that is so clear and straightforward. What he did was the best thing, and he followed the law and the constitution. So you should forget about this sentiment. Thank you to the Amayanabo in the studio.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Good morning.
Hello, Sam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm on air.
Go ahead.
My brother, the governor has the right to appoint. I know he's a sitting governor. So I don't know why everybody is coming to talk. And making law for how many months. Nobody said anything. And if you're working there, you cannot employ somebody that will come and maybe come against you. You employ somebody that you trust most. Leave the senior judge and no senior judge. You employ somebody that can work that environment. Maybe Governor Wiki trust that man that can.
Well, either that does not apply. The conversation literally is stating that the governor does not have an influence. That's what we've been trying to establish. All right, thank you very much, Ida, for calling. Good morning. Good morning. Please turn off your radio.
It's completely turned off.
Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say that we want to make some comparisons with what happened at the federal level. So the chief judge of the federation is it appointed based on seniority? I mean the substantive chief judge of the federation. Is it appointed based on seniority, or is it just being appointed based on whom the president may have favored, or any post that is big enough from the chief justice of the federation? Then after that, I want to find out, does the governor of the River State err in any way, or does it conflict the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that he must have to appoint a chief judge substantially on seniority? If that is not the case, why all this ethics? Thank you very much.
All right. Unfortunately, I didn't get the second question. I don't know if you did.
I think I got all the questions.
Okay, so first question was about the similarities,
whether
federal and state.
Federal and state.
Yeah, that's is the same thing for Chief Justice.
The same thing for of all the courts. The sections that create the courts always make almost similar provisions.
Okay.
You understand? And to answer his second question, I'll just read the Constitution for him. Section 271, subsection 3. A person shall not be qualified to hold office of a judge of a high court of a state unless he is qualified to practice as a legal practitioner in Nigeria and has been so qualified for a period of not less than 10 years. This is the only qualification to be a chief judge. This is the only qualification. Of course, a judge must be a lawyer, and to be a judge, you would have been to be a judge of an high court, you would have practiced law for more than 10 years. So he just lifted that thing and put here. That is the only condition. Nothing about seniority. All this seniority is for the acting CJ. You understand? And that is subsection 4. If the office of chief judge of a state is vacant, or if the person holding the office is for any reason unable to perform the functions, that's the unforeseen things we talk of the office.
Yeah.
Then, until a person has been appointed to and has assumed the functions of that office, or until the person holding the office has resumed those functions, the governor of the state shall appoint the most senior judge of the high court to perform this function. This is acting, and it is to correct an interregnum or a lacuna that happens unforeseen. So it's to tell Rivers people and the world, and I'm quoting the Constitution here, and those persons who are saying these things, especially the lawyers, that they know that the issue of acting chief judge is an abnormal, is an abnormal. The norm is a judge, a substantive judge taking over from another substantive judge. That is the norm. An acting chief judge is an abnormal situation.
Okay.
That's except the governor is not proactive and allows the chief judge to fester until maybe he has interest in the acting, the most senior person to act with him. He can allow the tenure of the governor. Okay, now it now comes to what we were asking, politics. The governor can now sit and watch and allow the tenure of the incumbent expire, and then now appoint that person he seemingly prefers to be the acting chief judge. It's an abnormal situation.
Okay. Good morning.
Hello, Sam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Dennis Benagwa.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm immediately read where when men were men and women were deserved by those who deserve them. William Shakespeare wrote that a society that will not uphold the truth will remain backward. The same laws that had fostered Europe, the development of America and all, are the same laws that Nigerians will manipulate to their whims and caprices and keep our country a savage society, a primitive society, when people will not tell the truth.
Dr. Dennis,
The Bible tells us clearly
what is your point,
that
please?
the truth only can set us free.
All right. Okay, well, I'm guessing that's the point. Governor Wike is not right in appointing its kinsman, Gospel says on WhatsApp, as chief judge in place of a senior juror. The very painful aspect of this aberration is the complacent and impugnious silence of the bar and bench, Gospel Igwe says from Port Hackett. Good morning. The most credible candidate should be appointed as chief judge of River State. It doesn't matter whether he's from the governor's, he's the governor's kinsman or not. As far as he's most credible, Wike go for it. CC from where it says. Was the name of Justice Joyce sent to the NJC? A person is asking here. I said there were 2 names sent.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a member of the State Judicial Council, but I just alluded to the fact that if a name was even sent and NJC looks at it that she will retire early, I believe that by some of the criteria I know they like to use, she might not even be returned.
You're almost certain that she would not.
Yes, because the agency knows that this is a rigorous process.
Yeah, but again, you're not a member. You literally just said that now. So for you to be certain that she wouldn't make, that's
because I'm a lawyer and I know these things are written in the Constitution. The agency, the duties of the agency is spelled out in the schedule to the Constitution. You understand? There are criteria and it's a rigorous process that engulfs money. So I'm like, it's my personal opinion that if they send and the NJC, it needs to know, look, this person, in no time, these people will be coming back to us for this thing. It might not. That is, well, this one is just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
and like I told you, the issue of becoming acting is abnormal.
I get that is your opinion, but there's something about the tone that sounds like there's more to it, like there's something we just don't know. Because from the very minute, we've mentioned, there's been this certainty behind it, like, no, she's not going to. And again, as you said, it's up to the NJC.
Well, is it in the bar we encourage, I think in the judiciary we encourage judges, experienced judges, so that you go from even the High Court to the Court of Appeal and to Supreme Court. It is always the joy of every state that we have our judges at the Supreme Court level. So the age issue, your number of years you serve. For example, even sending, for example, she that is going to retire, and name to the Court of Appeal, as in sending her higher, you will even be doing the service lawyers know, they know what I'm talking about.
When will she retire?
I guess they said it's 6 months. I don't know her service here, but I hear that she'll retire soon. So what I'm saying is that if you even send her to an higher court, it will be a disadvantage because you get there, you retire, and you have to go through the org again.
Okay.
And every state is targeting how do we get to the Supreme Court.
All right, let's take some more calls. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Oracle.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, Kingsley.
See, from what I want to ask your guest in the studio, who says he's a lawyer. Now,
he is a lawyer.
I hear that the woman will retire in 2023. That is one. I also hear that her name was not forwarded to agency. It was mixed. They omitted the name. If it's true, let me ask him, is it proper for them to have omitted the second in command after Laminkara?
Well, first of all, hold on. Most of what you're saying is based on what you heard. So it's not, there's nothing certain there.
He's saying he heard that it may be.
And I labeled it my personal opinion.
Okay, well, there's just too much attached to this. The entire judicial procedure in Nigeria is not straight, as someone else says on WhatsApp. There's a whole lot of bureaucracy involved in all these appointments. Let me take you on tenor. Justice Alpha Belgore served as Chief Justice of Nigeria for 6 months, but he was still appointed because there's a tradition that the most senior judge in the Supreme Court becomes substantive judge. That procedure has been on even up to appeal courts, high courts, as someone else says. Oracle, I now understand why Governor Wike does not respect traditional rulers in River State. I see no reason why. And Amayanabo will leave his domain and come to studio to defend the governor on this issue.
I'm not defending. I only came to clear the issues because I was in this issue and I know the issue and I know that they are wrong. And you can, anybody, even any citizen can engage a lawyer and go to court. You understand? And raise these issues. If these are emotions or I don't know whether they're even moral. They're not moral. They're emotions, and they have no place in the law court. And the Constitution, they cannot be grounded on any section of the Constitution.
One of the reasons why people, I believe, react in this manner, and one of the things that gives life to this argument, is the relationship between the executive and the judicial arms of government right here in Rivers State. How do you define that relationship? Of course, we've seen judges get SUVs and all of that. How do you define the relationship between the executive and the judiciary in Rivers?
A democracy is made up of three arms.
Okay.
The executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. So, His Excellency is the head of the executive. If as our assembly members are getting cars and they have quarters and this thing, and he builds one for judges, and what is wrong with it? They are all in the state civil service. They are all the judges, all assembly members, those in government. They are all working under the state civil service.
Yeah, I get that. For a major part of this conversation, you've shared your personal opinion.
Yes.
What is your personal opinion
about
on judges getting SUVs and quarters from the governor?
Very cordial. We encourage every lawyer is taught in law school. We encourage the judges to be comfortable, so that they will be able to dispense justice, as in they will not be enticed by maybe an SUV gift. Now, so you will see that the majority of the cases will not want to be able to offer the judge an SUV because he already has an SUV.
And if the influence is coming from the executive, because you've gotten a gift from the executive, of course, at that point...
It is not a gift. You are serving the state. A judge is serving the state. He gets a jeep, which is
not from the executive. It was a gift from the governor. It was not. It was a gift.
No, the governor is the governor of Rivers State, as in the head of the executive arm.
Yes.
And he now gives car gifts, as in gives cars
to another independent arm of government. It was registered as a gift.
No, is it Governor Wike's personal money? It's the monies of the Rivers State. He feels that, look, the judges should have cars, the assembly members should have cars, so that they don't go calling bolts and whatever, and now come to court and tell you maybe people will be waiting. You're supposed to see by 9 o'clock.
I understand the sentiment, but again, he feels you need to understand that for an arm of government that claims autonomy, this is not a norm. So it is a gift. It was a gift.
It's not a gift. You're getting it wrong. This is it's not a, how can what is the relationship between the judges and Governor Wike that he will be giving them? If he wants to give car gifts, he can go to his community and give car gifts, or his political friends, those of them that are in the PDP with him. Has he given their car gifts like that? This is the state governor who sees the state that, look, I want dispensation of justice. I want my judges to be comfortable. You know, judges go on conference and all the rest, and when they go to those conferences, all the persons, all the lawyers talking, even those talking against, we are always proud to see these are River State judges. They are well taken
in
care
your
of.
opinion, they were not gifts.
They can't be. It's not my opinion. They were not gifts.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. Let's talk about some other projects. The Trans-Calabar Road is one of the biggest, stories in the news now. We have the flyovers, of course, which the governor has done. For this particular Trans-Calabar Road, which affects your community, what are your thoughts on that project by the government?
We are very happy. Every Calabar person is very happy, and we thank His Excellency, because just like I said, every governor comes with his own project. So if any governor comes and refuses to do this Trans-Calabar Road, this Trans-Calabar Road was more like articulated by all the list governments. He left, didn't do it. And basically came, awarded it in bits, some parts. They didn't do it. And he came and called the Calabar people to a meeting on December 2019 and told them that, look, he will start the Trans-Calabar Road. And elders were consulted, stakeholders were consulted, and they told him to start from this end. Now, by this singular act, His Excellency is connecting Minama, Angolama, Umekwetarama, Sangama, with a bridge that will cross from Krakrama to Degema. That is as good as the Abonima bridge, the bridge that connects Degema to Abonima. And from Angolama to Tarama and to Krakrama, there are rivers of 30 meters, 40 meters, bridges that will be built.
So it's an important project.
As a matter of fact, they call it the Senosha area. Whether Trans-Calabar Road starts from your side or not, we know the stretch of the Trans-Calabar Road. And we are believing that His Excellency still have some time and he can go to the second phase. Personally, for me as my community Prama, if this project is done and His Excellency has graciously approved, that is going to link up even my community, which is going to be the last in the central group, to this at the end of the project. So we are happy because it's going to open up all the persons complaining. They know that if we have to go to Angulama, Minama, we will start calculating the river when it's high tide, when it's low tide, and all the rest. So this is Raskalaba Road, and we are happy that it's happening in our time. And we appreciate Governor Wike. And we tell him he shouldn't be bothered about people that are talking. They don't speak for us. Every Calabar person is happy. Even I know most persons in the opposition that have even said, yes, I might not be doing it, but this project, it is a master stroke.
Thank you very much, Tubotamuno Dick, legal practitioner and Amayanabo of a Prama community. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It seems that time has become the chief judge of this conversation. Hopefully we have another opportunity.
Time will never be acting.
Yes,
it
indeed.
is a substantive chief judge.
Hopefully we'll have another opportunity to engage. Have yourself a beautiful day, sir.
Anytime.
The news happens now, and after that I'll be speaking with the sector commander of the FRSC in River State. A couple of things that need to be ironed out. Don't go anywhere.